Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's Thursday at 8 p.m. That could only mean one thing, y'all. It's time for the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club's Thursday Night Net. Our call sign is N508K, and we're located down here in Oak Hill, Texas, which is just south of Austin. We're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. It's a controlled net, meaning stations should refrain from transmitting until designated check-in or comment times. As such, my name is Ray, and my call sign is K5BZI. I am your net control operator for the evening. I've been monitoring frequency now for a while. I've heard a few folks jump in, but I have not heard any emergency traffic, so I'm pretty comfortable that the frequency is clear. But of course, should there be any emergency or priority traffic over the course of tonight's net, they will absolutely gain priority. What was I? Totally lost my train of thought. I have been on pain meds for the last couple of days, so if I just completely lose it tonight, I apologize in advance. But anyway, yeah. As always, I will be running NetLogger tonight to log check-ins. If you'd like to follow along as I log folks in, you can do that by downloading a free piece of software called NetLogger. It's available online at netlogger.org. Click the big blue button that says Select Net and look for OHARC Thursday Night Net, and you can follow along as I check folks in. Thursday Night Net is a social net. We encourage any and all licensed amateur radio operators to join us on Thursday nights. You do not have to be a club member. In fact, we're a free club, and so just by checking into our log, man, you pretty much become a club member at that point. So feel free to check in. We hope and encourage, as I mentioned, everyone to check in, especially if you're just passing through. Hello, Travis. Thanks for checking in early. We had an early short-time check-in from Travis, KI5 Tango Mike Sierra, who is en route, I'm assuming back to his QTH out there in College Station. So we thank him for checking in on the road there. Tonight's agenda is the same as it typically is on Thursday nights. We're going to go right into short-time check-ins here after I babble on a little bit and give some folks time to turn their rigs on. And then we're going to check in with Ernesto, KI5PZN, is going to have our question and news for me tonight. Thank you, Ernesto. And so that makes him my de facto backup net controller, which is pretty sweet. And then we'll jump into some fox hunt news. I think Sky put one out this weekend, so see him on video now. So he may be available for an update on that. And then we'll get into the President's update and social events update, and then we'll go into regular check-ins. Regular check-ins is the meat and potatoes, as I like to say. It's the open forum. It's a really great opportunity to learn a little something, brag about a radio or an antenna you just acquired or built, and just generally chit-chat and keep in touch and bring everybody up to date on what you've been up to. So if you can stick around for the regular check-ins portion, I recommend you do. It's definitely worthwhile. But here in just a few seconds, we'll get into short timers. Let me remind you that I do live stream on the Thursday Night Net video channel on our Discord server, so you can join myself and a few others who have already joined in tonight in our shacks for tonight. You do not have to have an operational camera. In fact, there's a couple of folks that are lurking right now without cameras on, and that's all right. So come on and join me in the shack if you'd like to. We'd love to have you. Come say hi to Steve and Sky and Ryan. They're already in there, so. What else? There's something I was going to mention. What was it? I don't remember. Oh, I would like to throw out there that I have been making some changes around the shack, so if my audio gets wonky or something just dies, please holler at me, let me know. Wave at me on camera if I can't hear you, that sort of thing. But hopefully, I think I've got everything worked out. We did a little audio check earlier, and I think I'm all good for the night. So anyhow, there you go. All right. I was going to mention, if you're not a member of our Discord server, you can do that by going to our website at n5oak.org, and down at the bottom on the left-hand side of just about every page, there's a big button that you can click on, and that will get you access to our Discord server where you can request authorization to join us. The Discord server, if you're not familiar, it's just awesome. Very, very active. We've got something like 400 or 500 people on it, and I would not be shy to claim that on any given day there's at least 100 to 120 folks that are actively contributing content, chatting, answering questions, that sort of thing on Discord. So if you have not joined our Discord server, man, you really ought to. You'll be glad you did. And I mentioned the website briefly there. You can find out more about the club and actually see what all systems are connected to us this evening for the net by going to n5oak.org and clicking on the All-Star tab. It's pretty cool. There's a bubble chart there, and it'll give you an idea of how extensive these nets are on Thursday nights. I am coming to you currently from our flagship machine in Oak Hill proper at 147.320 with a tone of 114.8. It is constantly linked to our Johnson City machine out there at 147.250, as well as our UHF machine that's located on the UT campus at 441.775. So if you can't hit one of those, we have the KA5D system is always linked. You can find out all the frequencies from that system. They're mostly UT or north of town, the main one being 441.325 with a positive offset. But you can find out more about all those systems that are all linked at ka5d.org or .com. I think it's .com. Also tonight, I'd like to welcome, as always, K5TMT and through his machine up there in Leander, KE5RS. Looks like out in Dripping Springs, we've got Kilo 5 Victor Bravo connected tonight, so thanks for joining us there. And, of course, the AI5 Alpha 224.100, the 220 machine that's located on UT campus as well. Thank you, Rick, for joining us on 220 and making that available to those who'd like to join us via 220. Also, it looks like tonight we've got KC2QJA, that's 441.675. with a positive offset, and that's linked through the KA5D system. So keep an eye on that bubble chart, because as the night progresses, it's been known to expand. So anyway, we appreciate all those net controllers for linking up to us on Thursday nights, net controllers. Those repeater trustees for linking up to us on Thursday nights, and glad to have you guys join us. All right, without further ado, let me do a station ID and we'll get into short time check-ins. Again, this is the N5OAK Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net Controlled Net. We're here every Thursday at 8. My name is Ray, call sign K5, Bravo, Zulu, India. I am Net Control, and we're going to jump right on into short time check-ins. If you don't have long with us this evening, you got something you got to get off to, take care of, put the kids to bed, put your mother-in-law to bed, whatever it may be, now's the time to do it. When we do short timers, if you tell me no traffic, I'll just log you and move on. But if you don't, then I'll say hi and let you jump in here and say a quick hello to everybody. But then we won't take any questions from the peanut gallery here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do that. If you'd like to check in short timers only, come now with your call sign, please.
Kilo Fox 5, Delta Papa X-ray, no traffic.
This is Alpha India 5 Hotel Papa, AI 5 HP, Aaron and Buda with no traffic.
South Austin, no traffic.
Okay, I got Aaron, Alpha India 5 Hotel Papa. There was a perfect double in there, so the other station, go ahead, please.
This is Kilo India 6, Hotel Quebec Tango, Ken in South Austin, no traffic.
All right, Ken, thank you so much for trying again. Keep them coming, guys. Anybody else want to check in? Short timers only.
This is Kilo India 5 Yankee India Alpha Marshall in South Austin, no traffic.
This is Kilo Juliet 5 Alpha Victor Juliet Bill in Buda, no traffic. Thanks for doing the net.
This is Kilo India 5 Whiskey Lima Foxtrot, Stephen and Kyle, no traffic.
All right. Anybody else? Short timers only. Come now. Sounds like there's someone trying to check in, but you're not quite making it in. You want to try one more time? right, nothing heard. We'll jump to the top of the list and welcome everybody. Everyone said no traffic, so I'll just run down the list and say hello. Sound like Chris jumped in there, KF5DPX. Chris, thanks for checking in. We got you on the log there. Have a great weekend. Aaron checked in, no traffic as well. Alpha India 5 Hotel Papa. Aaron, best of you and yours this weekend. Have a great one. Stay cool. Kilo India 6 Hotel Queen Tango. That's Ken. He checked in. Thanks for checking in, man. Whew. Kilo India 5 Yankee India Alpha. Howard Marshall checked in as well. Marshall, have a great weekend. KJ5 AVJ. That's Bill out in Buda. Bill, take care, man. We'll catch you next week. And Kilo India 5 Whiskey Lima Fox. That's Steven. He checked in. No traffic from Kyle. Steven, have a great weekend, man, and we'll catch you down the log. Any more short time check-ins? Short timers only. Come now, please. All right. Well, it's hot outside and shacks are cool, so everyone's going to hang out for the whole net. Sounds pretty good to me, man. We had looks like 7 check-ins for short time. So without further ado, let me hand it on over there to Ernesto, Ernesto PZN, KI5PZN. Sorry, I had a choke on my whiskey there. Sorry about that, Ernesto. Go ahead and take it away, man. What you got for tonight's question?
KI5PZN. Oh man, you just had a senior moment there. Alright, let's see. I had a couple of them that I was going to grab, and I forgot. Alright, here is the one. Here we go. What is the maximum height above ground for an antenna structure not near a public use airport without requiring notifications to the FAA and registration with the FCC? What is the maximum height above ground for an antenna structure not near a public use airport without requiring notifications to the FAA and registration with the FCC? Alpha is 50 feet. Bravo is 100 feet. Charlie is 200 feet. And Delta, 250 feet. We're going to open the floor now to technicians. So if you think you know the answer, please call Net Control. Well, no, sorry, I'm not Net Control. Please call me with your name and answer.
Just volunteered. I'm out. Just kidding. I'll start it off with C.
Ray with C. I think somebody else doubled there for a second. Try again.
G5TNF.
Go for it.
Could you repeat again the area in relation to the airport or something? What was that?
Sure, man, no problem. What is the maximum height above ground for an antenna structure not near a public use airport without requiring notifications to the FAA and registration with the FCC? Alpha is 50 feet. Bravo is 100 feet. Charlie is 200 feet. And Delta 250.
I want to make a guess at 100 feet.
All right, any other technicians would like to give it a shot? Call with your call sign and your answer.
And 5 SMO, Charlie.
All right, anybody else opening the floor to anybody who would like to give it a shot here? Call with your answer and call sign.
K7 TVA, I'm going to go with Delta. That's kind of a wild ass guess. All
right, we got TVA with Delta and, let's see. The answer to this one is Charlie is 200 feet. Thank you, guys. Let's go to the next one. All right, so the second question here is, all right, the frequency allocations of which ITU region apply to radio amateur operating in North and South America is Alpha Region 4, Bravo Region 3, Charlie Region 2, and Delta Region 1. Any technician that would like to try this one, please call with your call sign and answer.
KJ5BLC, I'm going to go with Charlie. I think that was Region 2.
All right, any other technician would like to give it a shot? No more technicians, so let's open up the floor to everybody. Let's see, call in with your call sign and your answer.
N5WRW.
Go ahead, Dwight.
I'll go Alpha.
All right, anybody else would like to try it? Call with your name and your answer.
November 5 UKF, Alpha, Charlie. November.
I got it in November. Please call in again. It was a double there.
November 5 Yankee Alpha November. I will go with A Alpha.
John, I got you too, Steve. Anybody else would like to give it a shot? Call in with your answer and your call sign.
Ernesto, K5BZI.
All right, well, raised, I got you here with the B. All right, well, the answer to this one is Charlie, Region 2. Thank you guys for participating. It was a fun couple of questions there. And for those of you that are looking to upgrade your license, and if you know anybody who is interested in getting licensed, don't forget that we offer in-person testing. Go to n50ak.org and you can scroll down to get under Get License and click there, and that will point you into the right direction. Sending this back to Net Control, this is KI5PZN.
I don't know why I always think it's Region 3. I always get that wrong. Anyway, maybe that'll help solidify it in my brain. Thank you, Sarah. Don't forget you're listening to the N50AK Thursday Night Net. We are the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club's controlled net. Myself with KI5PZN, and we are net controllers, and we will pass it back over to Ernesto for tonight's news. What you got for us, man?
All right, man. Well, no, you're the net controller, but all right. We got, all right, the first one here, this is coming from Amateur Radio Newsline, report 2390 for Friday, August the 18th of 2023. That's for tomorrow, y'all. This story takes us to the Hawaiian island of Maui, which faces a long road back following the deadly sweep of wildfires. Amateur radio operators are evaluating what else emergency communicators can do to ensure that life-saving messages continue to get through. Even as the Amateur Radio Emergency Service responded to the devastating wildfires that brought death and destruction to parts of the Hawaiian island of Maui, emergency management agencies acknowledged that they were taken largely by surprise by the August the 8th disaster. Swift to deal with hurricanes, tsunami, and other weather-related events, Hawaiian emergency management agencies on the island struggled to stay on top of conditions brought about by low humidity and high winds generated by Hurricane Dora, hundreds of miles to the south. Scores of people lost their life in the town of Lahania, something like that. Its favorite was virtually destroyed by the next day. With phone, internet, and cell service seriously affected, the KHCCOM interlinked repeater system and other repeaters on Maui, along with WinLink and a 40-meter net, were all activated to support local agencies. Presenting an improved strategy for the future, the Hawaiian television station KH0N broadcast, or maybe ON, well, either one of those, broadcast a report focused on the importance of ham radio in times of emergency. Michael Miller, KH6ML, ARRL Assistant Section Manager for the Pacific Section, showcased the capabilities of amateurs during disasters and urged the expansion of amateur radio resources in Hawaii. He stressed that while hams are not first responders, they do provide a communication lifeline for those who are. If you are interested in helping out and donating, I'm going to give you two websites here that you can check out. And the first one is Hawaiian Community Foundation, hawaiiancommunityfoundation.org/Maui-strong. And the other one, it's MauiUnitedWay.org/disaster-relief. All right, on the more positive subjects here. Liquid metal battery to flow into commercial market. The unending search for better battery power with improved storage capacity has led to yet another innovative design, and this one is about to be released for commercial use. A professor from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology has created a liquid metal battery that he will soon be introducing into the commercial market as a low-cost, long-life option. Donald Sadoway is a materials scientist who has focused on developing affordable batteries throughout his years of research. He co-founded his company, Ambri, in 2010 as a way to commercialize his liquid metal battery, which contains molten metal electrodes and a molten salt electrolyte. The Massachusetts-based company will be working with Colorado-based Xcel Energy in early 2024. Ambri plans to install a 300-kilowatt system for the utility and expect it to be up and running late next year. An article on the IEEE Spectrum website said that the liquid metal battery could lead to a substantial reduction in energy cost. The scientist credits the battery's alternative components for creating a system design different from that found in lithium-ion batteries. He told the IEEE Spectrum, the concept of a liquid metal battery makes it unique for stationary storage. It is not flammable, unlike lithium, and it is resistant to capacity fade. We've got data of thousands of charges cycles, which is years of operations. This is quote, this thing should go 20 years and still retain 95% of its capacity. That's really awesome. And that's it for tonight's news. I'm sending this back to Net Control. This is KI5PZN.
Yeah, it's really sad to hear about that island in Hawaii, man. Maui, bad news there. But interestingly, you heard about the folks down there, I think it was near Port O'Connor, that got a false alarm for a tsunami alert. Wow, that would be a little freaky. Oh yeah, tsunami's coming. No, never mind. No, it's not. I'm like, geez, man, thanks a lot. All right. Well, thank you, sir, for the news. Good stuff. Let's see if anybody else has any newsworthy items that they ran across this week and like to share with us before we move on.
November 5, Sierra Mike Oscar.
Bill, what you got for us?
Yeah, thanks, Ray. For any of the hams that have phone privileges, this Saturday is the ARRL's North American QSO party in the sideband version. It starts at 1 p.m. local time and goes to 1 a.m., and it's a real simple exchange. It's just your name and your state, and that's it. And if you're like chasing worked all states, or just want to get an opportunity, if you've got new HF privileges and want to get out there and work some stations, this is a great opportunity. The bands will probably be crowded. I suspect 20 and 15 meters will be just full of stations there. So have fun with that if you're interested in giving it a shot. And that's all I have. VaxNet and 5SML.
Hey, thanks for that, Bill. That's a fun one. You said 1 a.m., so is it 24 hours, 2 days? What is it, 1 a.m. Saturday till when?
No, it's just 12 hours. It starts at 1800 Zulu on Saturday, so that's 1300 our time, so that's 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and it goes to a minute before 6 Zulu, so that's 1 a.m. our time. So it's 12 hours.
Okay, right on. Well, thanks for that. That's awesome. What was I going to say? Yeah, name and state, and I was going to say that I was working from the shack today, and I was hearing everywhere from Canada to Jamaica to New Zealand on 11 meters. So potentially, is 10 meters in the bands that are going to be available on Saturday?
Yeah, Ray. 160, 80, 40, 20, 15, and 10 meters are in the contest. And yeah, I keep my eye definitely on 10 meters. It's been working really, really good on Digimode, so there's probably enough propagation there to support good voice. I was hearing some South American and Mexico stations on phone on 10 meters this afternoon. So, yeah, it should. I would imagine you could probably do pretty good with on 20, 15, and 10. That's what I'd be working if I was going to be doing it, which I probably will. Back to net and 5SMO.
All right, good stuff, man. Thanks for sharing. And let's see if anybody else has any other newsworthy topics for us tonight before we move on. All right. Nothing heard. I will definitely be on Saturday for sure. I love that contest. All righty. Well, let's see. Remind you here that this is the N5OAK Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. It's a controlled net. We're in the middle of news and club business. My name is Ray. Call sign K5BZI. I am net control. Hang tight. We were going to get through our club business, and then we'll get to regular check-ins not too long here. So next on the agenda typically would be fox hunt news. So let's see if N5LX is with us. I think he put a fox out this weekend. Sky?
Hey, Ray. This is N5LX. Yeah, I did put a fox hunt out. And welcome to Fox Hunt News for all you fox hunters out there. Yeah, we had one Fox transmitter out this last weekend, which I hosted. It was a real furnace out there, so kudos to everyone who participated. We had a few participants, so it's a good time of year to give night fox hunting a try, is what I was thinking, since it's so hot. If anybody hasn't tried that yet, maybe on an upcoming hunt, you might think about it. It's not for everybody, but I've done it a few times, and I really enjoyed the kind of added challenge, and it's cooler. So, let's see, the fox finders who managed to get their names in the logbook this last weekend are as follows. We have Dirk, AF5WW, Paul, KA5FZU, Mark, N5UMT, and Jeffrey and Ashley, KI5MVF. All those people I mentioned, and there's a lot more in our club, they're all really great and seasoned fox hunters. And I'm just kind of thinking out loud, but I've been talking to some others about the prospect of maybe doing a fox hunting as a team, maybe just a one-off, maybe do it once in a while. I think I heard somebody else mention that we might be able to fashion a team hunt that's something like Capture the Flag. So maybe if you have any thoughts or ideas on that, go ahead and share them with us on the Fox Hunt Discord channel. Anyway, I'm just kind of planting the seed of that because I think it might be kind of cool. I'm going to do a reset. If you haven't yet joined the Fox Hunt, but you think you might want to give it a try, you can go to the N5OAK website and look under the Fox Hunts tab to see if there are any upcoming hunts. You can get a lot more information if you go to the N5OAK Discord site, which most of the people on here know about, but that's where you get the up-to-date information, the dates and times for the fox hunts and fox hunt maps, ongoing conversations about radio direction finding and all the details. Also, if you look at the upper right-hand corner, there's a pinned messages icon, and if you click on there, there's a bunch of articles. I think Rusty posted videos on fox hunting techniques, instructions for building antennas, how to make fox hunt maps, and a bunch of other stuff. So, if you find any material online about radio direction finding that you'd like to share with the group, go ahead and post it on the Discord channel because it's interesting stuff. Anyway, I also like to mention that if you'd like to try your hand at hosting a fox hunt, I'm going to reset again. If you think you might want to try hosting a fox hunt, you can check with Rusty, I think, about borrowing the club Fox transmitter. Our club has a transmitter. You can host the fox hunt, and I think it's just as interesting and fun as the hunt itself. So you might give it a try if you haven't already. Anyway, I'm going to take this weekend off again, but if you can keep an eye on the club website and the Discord channel, see if anybody else might be stepping up to the plate and hosting a hunt this weekend. This is kind of off topic, but Uncle Rusty's back from the land of alligators, swamps, and sunburnt tourists. So welcome back, Rusty. I guess that's all for this week's Fox Hunt News. This is N5LX, back to net control.
All right, sir. I kind of have a feeling that you did my update for me yesterday while I was on a flight to Mexico City, and if that's true, I appreciate that. And it sure was fun hosting you guys. I definitely recommend it. It's you just have this sneaky feeling when you hide the thing, and I don't know, I was kind of proud of my location. And sorry for those of you who wanted to know where it was, and I won't tell you because there were just a handful of folks that found it, so I might use that spot again. I kind of liked it. All right. Let's see. Let's see if anybody else has any questions or comments about fox hunting before we move on to the Prez. All right. Nothing heard. Well, as it has been alluded to, it seems like Uncle Rusty's back, and we're glad to have him. But before I jump over there, remind you that this is the N5OAK Thursday Night Net, controlled net. We're about to jump into our social events calendar and presidential update. So hang tight for regular check-ins. And with that, I will pass it over to WZ5BBS. And see what he's got for us tonight. Rusty, take it away, man.
Hey, Ray, everybody on the net. Yes, I am back from Florida, and I'm a little bit darker than when I left. So it was a fun 2 weeks of doing a whole lot of nothing. So thank you all for not burning everything down and keeping everything running. Thanks, Sky, N5LX for the Fox News, and Ernesto KI5PZN for the news and the questions. Yeah, it's time for the official club business. So we have no new members officially as of last week, but Ryan, KG5NZU, he joined us on the Discord, and I think, if I'm looking right, he was in, nope, you already missed out on the video thing. So Ryan, KG5NZU, go to the website, n50ak.org, go join, it's free, go make it happen. So, yeah, 557 members, look at us go. Donations, if you have any extra change laying around, it has been a very expensive last quarter for the club. We had 2 repeaters that totally crapped out on us. So we could use a little leaven in the bank account. If you can do that, go hit us up on the web, n50ak.org, and click on the Donate tab. We use Zelle so that we get to keep all the money. We don't have to pay anybody to process and all that stuff. So all of our donations are now tax deductible, thanks to Ernesto. So you can even write it off. Do a good thing, and you get a write-off. While you're over there donating, you can also go buy some gear. We've got our N50AK gear. You can go get T-shirts and hoodies, because it's 112 outside, so a hoodie is definitely needed. But yeah, you can get coffee mugs, water bottles, anything and everything with the logo. So if you want to support the club and get some gear with our logo on it, you can do that on the web as well. And while you're donating and buying gear, I also added a new contest calendar, and it's nothing new. It's the contest calendar that everybody goes to, but I put it on the website so it would be easy to get to. So like Bill mentioned, for the contest coming up, if you have no idea what contest or what to go look at, you can now head over to n50ak.org, and we have a contest calendar right there. You can go check it out and be in the know. I got to send a big shout out to George, K5TR. He did the Elmer Academy on August 1st, which was right before I went on vacation, so I didn't get to officially thank George. But we had a great Elmer Academy on contesting, and I think it was like 2 hours long. We had about 17 people show up for that, and if you don't know, Elmer's Academy, that's just kind of where we plug everybody together and get Elmers with the new folks, and we just kind of chit-chat and find out what we've got. We've already got some other good topics and stuff, so keep your eyes out for that, because we've got them. I'm going to try to do them every month, every other month, something like that. But thank you, George, K5TR, for that last one. The next club meeting is Saturday, October 21st at the House and Branch of the Austin Public Library. All the details are on the web and in the Discord. You can also join us and get an upgrade. You can upgrade, get licensed. Our next testing session will be after the meeting on October 21st at that same House and Branch. You can sign up online, pay online. Everybody, that's the only way that we can reserve your spot is to make that happen. So go n50ak.org. You can sign up, join our next testing session, get us all paid up and ready to go. Life will be great. And then you can upgrade and, be a part of the fun. I just booked the park. We're going down to McKinney Falls State Park again, November 4th. For the N50AK Park Potluck. The first one was a great time. We had like 35 people show up. The details are not out there yet. I'm still putting that together, but we did get it booked. So November 4th, put that in your calendar. It's already on the calendar. If you subscribe, you're good to go. But yeah, Park Potluck is coming up sooner than later. As far as the fox hunt go for the weekend, I think Sky said he's taking the weekend off. So I'm not really sure if we have any fox hunts going on this weekend. But keep your eyes peeled on the Fox Hunt channel, because that changes very quickly. If you are interested in the fox hunts, figuring out what's going on, how to do it, anything like that, you can meet us up for Old Man Breakfast at 8 a.m. at the Waterloo Ice House up at 183 in Burnett. It's over there. That's the Austin Amateur Radio Club. That's where they've been meeting there since 1854. And so, yeah, come hang out with us. We usually have breakfast, hang out, talk some ham radio, and then we go from there to go fox hunting. So if you're interested, or if you just like to get up at crazy hours and eat, we usually head out about 8 a.m. So 8 a.m., Waterloo Ice House, Old Man Breakfast, always a fun time. And we're always looking for new net controllers. So like Steve, KI5UKF, he's our newest net controller, but if you would like to be net control, the best way to start out is to do news and exam questions, just like Ernesto did. if you'd like more information, ping us on the Thursday Night Net channel. You can also find the script there. It's super easy, and we will definitely, hang out with you and show you what you need to do. So if you would like to be a net controller, come join the family. We've got like 10 people, and we still need more. So come join us in the Net Control family. And speaking of that, we have a brand new net. It's the Traveling Taco Net. And this is another one of Ernesto's brainchild. It'll be August 25th. It's the last Friday of the month. He's going to do them every month, and it is the Traveling Taco Net. So this is another great way, if you're not real sure if you want to be net control or not, you can invite Ernesto to your house. He will bring tacos and hang out and talk. The only thing that you really have to have is a good setup that can get you into the repeater, because we're going to be hanging out for a little bit. The first one is at my house. Big surprise. So we will be hanging out and eating tacos at my house on August 25th and running the net. And so we have a new net on the schedule as soon as I get it up there, the Traveling Taco Net, and I'm looking forward to that. The easiest way to stay up to date, subscribe to the official club calendar. You can do that at n5oak.org. Just click on the calendar tab to make that happen. That's all I got. Like I said, it's good to be home. Thanks for not burning stuff down, and we'll pass it back to Ray. K5BZI, WZ5BBS. Thanks for running the net, Ray.
All right, sir. Appreciate all that. Trying to get my job away and all that jazz. I got to tell you, man, I am jazzed about the Taco Net, the Traveling Taco Net. I can't wait to have Ernesto over here. Mostly because I like tacos, but also because I like Ernesto, and it'd be kind of fun to have him over here running the net from the shack here. Sounds like fun, man. All right. Any other club business? By the way, shout out to you, Rusty, man, for all you do. The website, keeping things updated, all that stuff. That was on my notes here to mention, and I almost passed it up. But good to have you back. Great to have you as club president and all the things you do. Really appreciate it. All right, yeah. Anybody else have any club business or otherwise for us before we get off into the regular check-ins portion of tonight's net? Okay, nothing heard. Well, guys, man, 8:40, and we're already jumping into regular check-ins. That's pretty crazy. I think I'm talking fast, and I don't know where Rusty was, and we just had hardly any short timers. So, man, we're doing we're ahead of schedule tonight. That's kind of cool. Okay, well, Thursday Night Net's what you're listening to. N5OAK is our call. Once again, we're going to jump into regular check-ins, but before we do, let me remind you to please keep the conversation clean and appropriate and welcoming for any of those who might be younger or new with us this evening. And with that being said, if you are in fact a ham radio operator, licensed ham radio operator, we'd love to hear from you. You don't have to be a club member. We encourage new folks to jump in there, especially we like to hear from newly licensed operators or folks who are new to the Thursday Night Net in any way that may be. Also, let me remind you that if you can't get into one of the Oak Hill proper repeaters, you can find an alternative source by going to our website at n5oak.org and clicking on the All-Star tab, where you can find a link to a bubble chart that shows all of the repeaters that are networked to us tonight. And one of the big ones being the KA5D system, and those repeaters are listed out at ka5d.com. So definitely, if you're having a hard time hitting one of our machines, go check out the website All-Star tab for alternatives. We got a pretty good reach on Thursday night, so we hope you can make it in somehow. Also remember that I like to log check-ins using NetLogger, which is a free piece of software you can download from the interwebs, netlogger.org. Install it, click the big blue button that says Select Net. Look for OHARC Thursday Night Net, and you can follow along with check-ins. Don't forget to join myself and others live streaming in our shacks by going to the Thursday Night Net video channel on Discord. And if you are not on Discord, if you're not one of the 500-plus folks that have joined us on Discord already, n5oak.org, look for the big purple button at the bottom left and come join us. Tonight's a good night because you have to be authorized to join us, and the only way to get that done is when a site admin sees it, and there's site admins, myself including, monitoring Discord tonight, so it's a good time to go get yourself approved by going to that big Discord button on our website. All right, so we're going to get into regular check-ins. Again, don't forget to say this is an unkey to make sure you're not doubling with somebody, because that makes life a lot easier for me. And tonight I've got a topic. I want to hear about your Elmer. If you were lucky enough to have an Elmer that got you started, or a good influencer, or maybe you were an Elmer and got someone started that you could brag about, let us know. I'll start. I came home from scout camp when I was 13 and told my dad that I had passed the radio merit badge, and that they told me that I probably would have the knowledge to pass the amateur license exam. So when I told him that, he let me know that that's what he did in the military. Turns out he was a radio operator in Vietnam, and so he and I both went down and got our novice licenses, and he built a little shack in the back of a shed in our backyard, and that's what got me going. He was a great Elmer, along with my grandfather. But anyway, there's a sample of what we're looking for. So if you were lucky enough to have an Elmer, or like I say, we're fortunate enough to be someone else's, we'd love to hear about it. So without further ado, come now with your name and call signs if you'd like to check into tonight's net. Keep them coming. I can keep up.
This is November 5, Sierra Mike Oscar Bill, North Austin.
This is November Foxtrot 5 Yankee, Brant, South Austin.
This is Kilo India 5, Uniform Kilo Foxtrot, Steve in Dripping Springs.
This is November 5, Whiskey Romeo Whiskey, Dwight in Buda.
This is Whiskey 5 Golf Charlie Hotel, Ron in New Mexico, coming in on Echolink.
This is Kilo India 5 Yankee Hotel Yankee, coming in from North Austin.
This is November 5 Lima X-Ray Sky in Oak Hill.
This is November 5 Yankee Alpha November, David up in North Campus, Mobile.
Well, all right. That was a pretty good rundown, so we're going to jump right in with David real quick since he's mobile. November 5 Yankee Alpha November. Go ahead and check in with you just to make sure you don't get out of range. David, how you been, man?
Yeah, thank you. I've been all right. Just got back to Austin today. My dad and I were driving down from the Fort Worth area, and the tread came off a tire on the trailer holding my car, so we had to pull off the side of the road, swap it for the spare, and I learned a very hard lesson that the metal wire binding for the tire is very sharp, and I left with a few cuts. But it all worked out, and that's all good. And yeah, I got a mobile rig set up in the car, and it's just running off a little LiPo battery, so it's a pretty fun time. Great. My Elmer was two people, actually. Mike Shelton, and I believe his call sign was Kilo Golf 5 Foxtrot Sierra Kilo. He really liked how it spelled FSK for frequency shift keying. And my other Elmer was Dwayne Beatty, whose call sign I unfortunately cannot remember. And he was a great mentor, and I learned a lot from him, but he unfortunately passed away from the coronavirus a few years ago, and that's no fun. So November 5, Yankee Alpha November, back to net.
Yeah, Corona. Yeah, that's all we have to say about that. Sorry for your loss there, buddy. That's no good. And yeah, man, keep an eye out for those steel belt radials, man. Those belts will get you. They've gotten me before, that's for sure. I'm sure a lot of guys can appreciate how that feels. They go right through that little web between your thumb and your finger. It's crazy. All right, man. Well, thanks for checking in, and glad you're back. Sorry to hear you had some trouble, but it was a good thing you had a spare, so that's cool. Went camping with MPJ one time, and we blew the tire off on the pop-up camper, and we must have pulled that thing 20 miles before we realized it, and then wound up having to. We had everything but the T-bar. We had a jack and everything, but we had to park it, and drive down to the next town to buy a T-bar from Harbor Freight before we could keep on going. But that was no fun. Anyway, thanks for checking in there, David. Let's see if anyone's got any comments or questions for you this evening. Guys, if you'd like to say hi to N5YAN, he's back in town. Come jump in and say hi to David.
BBS. Hey man, congrats on the mobile situation. Does this mean we're going to start seeing you at the Old Man Breakfast and on the Fox Hunt circuit?
Well, Rusty, that's the plan. At least Old Man Breakfast. My homebrew Yagi fell apart. Literally, I got the tubes, and every time I'd crimp them, it would just break the tubes. So I think I'm going to start saving up for an aero antenna, and then possibly get into fox hunting, depending on how the semester goes. But I practiced driving to Waterloo Ice House earlier today. It's a real easy drive, and yeah, hopefully I'll be there this weekend, and it sounds like a fun time. N5YAN, back to you, Rusty.
Right on, man. Well, you're more than welcome to borrow my gear anytime. So, you know where I am. WZ5BBS, back to net control.
8 a.m. on a Saturday. So early. Anybody else have anything for David tonight? N5YAN's with us.
AI5JT.
Go ahead, sir. The floor is yours.
This is Rick. I just wanted to say hi to David. Welcome back, and glad to have your presence again back in Austin. AI5JT, clear back to net.
All right. Anybody else want to jump in and say hi to David before we move on? All righty, sir. Well, welcome back, and good luck on this next upcoming semester, and we'll catch you next time around. November 5 Yankee Alpha November 73 from the net. Let's see. The first one that checked in was Bill, November 5 SMO from North Austin up there. Bill, how goes it, my friend?
Hey, Ray, going good. Thanks for running the net. Good to hear you on here again. Yeah, I tried meteor scatter mode for the Perseids last Saturday and Sunday night, or Friday and Saturday, I can't remember. But it was a bust. Did get some decodes, which was like a first. I'd never even gotten that far before. And I did get a QSO, but it was with K5 UHF in Leander, so I know it wasn't scatter mode. But it was kind of cool figuring it out, and I think I got it, and also with George K5TR's guidance, and know enough about it now to try it again and know what I'm doing halfway. So that was fun, and let me let it drop here. And my mentor was W9JD. He was my cousin, older cousin. He was an Air Force comms officer on Air Force One back when I was in high school, and he was a ham, and he had a basement full of Drake radio gear, and used to fascinate me to go down there in the basement and watch him twiddle the knobs and talk to guys in Saudi Arabia and Scotland and stuff like that, you know, like they were next door. And that's what got me interested in ham radio, and unfortunately he just passed away last week. But he had a great life, and he leaves a huge family of grandkids and kids and everything, and I did get to see a bunch of his kids at a family reunion that I was at over the summer, so it was pretty cool. A lot of good memories there. But that's it for me. I'll send it back to net to Ray and the group from N5SMO.
All right, Bill. Great story about your Elmer there. Sorry about his recent passing, but sounds like he was a good influence, and basement full of Drake gear sounds like a dream. So appreciate the share there. And yeah, sorry you didn't have so much luck with the meteor shower there, but yeah, that's something that's on my definite checklist. I'll get around to that one of these days. Hopefully I'll have an opportunity. Never done anything. Never done any EME, Earth, Moon, Earth either. And, that sounds interesting to me. But so much to do in this hobby, you know, and I've got hopefully some time ahead of me where I can get to some of these things eventually. So, guys, we got Bill here, November 5 SMO. If you'd like to jump in and say hi or have any questions or comments for him, come now with your name and call sign.
Cat 5, UCAF.
Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Bill, I'm just curious on your, first of all, sorry for your loss on your Elmer there, especially so recent. Second, I was kind of curious on your Perced. Were you outside any and actually looking up? I mean, I know you're probably out there pointing an antenna somewhere. I actually went out, I'm kind of an amateur photographer, went out and took 520-second images from a fairly dark location and saw 3 meteors all night. So I'm kind of calling BS on this concept that there are hundreds of meteors per hour. And I was just curious if anybody else was out there that time of night and what you saw. Over.
Yeah, Steve. No, I wasn't outside at all. I was inside working 6 meters with a dipole. And I can tell you for sure that I think they said it was actually better. I was seeing more pings on the signal scope and more decodes the day before they said it was going to peak than the actual night they said it was going to peak. And I left it running overnight, and I had the greatest number of decodes between 2 and 4 a.m. and it was pretty dead on either side of that, other than a little blip like fairly early Friday night, like around 10 or 11, and then it got quiet, and then from 2 to 4 it woke up, and then it was pretty quiet. You know, now most of the people that do it have a gain antenna pointing up at the sky, and I'm just using a dipole, so I'm sure your mileage may vary, and the people that do it all the time have a lot more success. But yeah, it wasn't anything like I was expecting, having looked at even PSK recorder decodes as far as what it was compared to past years. Back to net and 5SMO.
Yeah, sounds like maybe the timing was off a little bit as to what was advertised, so maybe that had something to contribute to it. Steve wasn't seeing anything, and Bill wasn't hearing anything at the time it's supposed to be there, so who knows? Anybody else got anything for Bill tonight? N5SMOs with us. Ooh, nice picture, Steve. All right, nothing heard? Well, thanks for sharing. Have a great weekend, and guys, if you haven't noticed, on the Thursday Night Net channel on Discord, KI5UKF just posted a picture of one of his meteor shots. Pretty good picture there. Thanks for sharing that. Let's see. I wanted to jump down, check in with Ron. I made a note that he was coming in by Echo from New Mexico, so we've got to go check in with him while he's got good contact with us here. W5GCH, Ron, are you hearing me call?
Good evening, Ray, and everybody out there on the net. Yeah, thanks for checking in with me here early, Ray. It got so hot in Austin, my wife and I decided to head on out here to New Mexico and get some cooler air. It's about 70 degrees out here right now, and in the mountains, and it gets down to the mid-40s at night. So a little difference in weather, but just wanted to see what everybody's doing on the net tonight, and decided to check in with Echolink and K5TMT, I think is the call letters of the repeater that I'm on. And anyway, as far as Elmers go, I did have Elmer help me out get my initial antenna set up, and I had a BTEC standard HT that I was trying to hook up to it, and for some reason it just wasn't working out right, and I had about 2 different issues. One, the pre-made LMR 400 that I had hooked up to the antenna had some rosin apparently still on the center pin of the cable connector, and once I found that out, I cleaned it off and put it back together, and it worked perfectly. And I had an Elmer help me out with that. He brought out an antenna analyzer, and we isolated that pretty quickly. And then I had another problem with the HT. It worked fine by itself, but as soon as I stuck it on an antenna, the signal strength would just apparently would not work with the HT, and no matter what I tried to do, it seemed to be overloading the HT. And what I did, I eventually sent that HT back to VTech, and they sent me another one, and it works fine, no problem. So it's kind of a bummer to have a twofold issue when I was starting up there, a bad LMR 400 connector and then also HT. But I've got a full base radio on it now, and it all works out pretty nicely. So that's about all I have from here. W5GCH, back to you, Ray.
Cat 5, UCAF.
Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Ron, just curious if you're up high or down low in New Mexico as far as if you have any elevation where you are. And I just kind of wondered how, we're pretty flat here in Texas, and just kind of wondered how interesting that might be to be someplace that has some elevation. Over.
Hi, Ray. I apparently timed out that other repeater. Knocked me off, but I'm on the Oak repeater right now, so I heard your comments about the elevation. That's about all I heard. It would be good up here if I got up on the hill a little bit more, and but being at 9,000 feet, that's a good elevation to be at to start with, and so that's would like to try it sometime. I've got a base or a mobile radio set up on an outside antenna at this location, and I can talk to the local TAOS cams out here. So hopefully I can get on there next Wednesday. W5GCH, back to you, Ray.
All right, that was Steve, KI5 UKF with the question there. I understand you had to change repeaters, change nodes there, so that's good. I was going to ask you, do you have HF capabilities there? You plan on working the North American CUSA party this weekend?
No, I don't have an HF rig out here. I just have 2 meters or 70 centimeters. They also have 220 out here as well. I've tried all of that, and it seems to work out fine. But no, I won't be doing any HF work. Sorry. W5GCH, back to net control.
N5SMO, hey Ron, just wondering where in New Mexico are you?
W5GCH still with us, Ron?
Correct, Ray. I'm still with you. Yeah, I don't know what's happening, though. It seems to go dead when I sign off here, so I just trying to figure out what's going on with Echolink here. I do tap the screen to stop transmitting, and that happens, but then I hear nothing. W5GCH, back to net.
All right, well, he's probably not able to hear me at this point, so I guess we'll let him go. I think, if I remember correctly, Bill, he's got a place up there, and I cannot remember where it is. But anyway, maybe he'll jump in and let us know here in a bit if he hears me, and we'll move on. Thanks for checking in, Ron, and take care. We'll catch you next time around. And that's why we check in with folks when they're not via RF, so that when they have trouble, they can get in while they can. All right, next on my was, where was I? NF5Y, that's Brant. Brant, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
Hey, Ray, I'm great. Was glad to hear you're doing the net control. I'm just going to answer the Elmer's question starting out. I'm kind of Elmer by committee, and I shout out to George and Bill for helping me the most. Teaching me some awesome tricks along the way in Discord and otherwise. I pretty much in 2023 haven't been doing ham radio because I got a demanding job and I couldn't do both, and now I'm back into ham radio, and it's really exciting, just like all new again. And another obstacle I had was I had a 40-meter OCF dipole, and I had it hoisted about like 45 feet up in this really tall hackberry. This hackberry was like a 2-foot diameter trunk, and it went straight up, and there's barely any branches on it. It was like a big old telephone pole, and it did happen to be very close to my house, and close to my neighbor's house, and close to my shack. I'm gonna let it drop here. Well, there was just a little storm that came through at the end of the spring, and that hackberry fell on my shack. The damage was pretty minor, just like a couple $100 on the roof. But the real travesty was the antenna was down, and I didn't have a tree to put my antenna in. But then my neighbor let me use another one of her trees, and so I got that dipole hoisted back up in the air. And I'm actually glad that it fell down in the first place, because it forced me to like tune the dipole myself, because I had to replace one of the wires, and I got a little better at putting it up and tying the knots and all that. So it was fun. So that's it, I guess. That's what I got going on. Good to hear all of you. NF5Y, back to net.
Yeah, all you had to do was say hackberry, and I knew how that story was going to end. Those trees, boy, I've got one growing between my neighbor's house and me, and it's shading my grill, but I'm not trying not to fall in love with it, because I know it's not going to be there long. Well, sorry to hear about your shack damage, but it sounds like you had a good time repairing the antenna, and it is good hearing you, man. That we did miss you there for a while. I think I talked to you early on, and you said you were going to be working a lot, so glad to have you back, man, and sounds like your antenna raising skills are getting good, so we can see you at Winter Field Day, hopefully. Guys, we got Brant here, NF5Y's with us. If you'd like to jump in and say hi, come down with your name and call.
N5SMO.
Bill.
Hey, good to hear you again, Brant. Long time, and I'm just curious, what bands can you work with that antenna you have?
Hey, Bill. Yeah, good to hear you. I can work 7, 14. What am I saying? 40 meters, 20 meters, 18 or 17 meters, 15 meters, 10 meters, and 6 meters. I'm not supposed to be able to work 15 meters on this antenna, but actually you and George taught me how to use a special coax trick to trick the radio and to having an impedance match with 15 meters.
Well, that's awesome, man. Glad you got all the bands working for you. That's pretty cool. So, yeah, now it's time to go have some fun with it. And we're getting into the season where, as we get out of the summer, when it's going to get a lot better up there on 10 and 15 meters. Back to net and 5SML.
Yeah, jump on that QSO party this weekend, Brant. Sounds like a good way to heat that antenna up. And yeah, I have a 40-meter dipole that I use. You've seen it at field days, and I use it for POTA activations. And that thing tunes perfectly on 6, man. It's crazy how well it works on 6. All right, anybody else got anything for Brant tonight before we let him go? All right, Brant. Well, don't be knocking down any more trees, man, and we'll catch you next time around. Have a great weekend. Next on my list is Steve himself, KI5UKF. Don't forget, Steve's joining us in the shack along with Craig, KJ5BZZ. Love that call sign, Craig. And a couple other guys. So come join us live streaming in the shack, guys, on Discord. Steve, what's going on, man?
Hey, Ray, not a lot. Thanks for running the net tonight. Not a lot going on as far as ham radio. Busy season at work again, so not a whole lot of free time. I've been trying to jump out. I've been illegally keeping up my 12-meter pole with my antenna on it, just so I can jump out there very quickly in my HOA and check it out. Nobody's complained yet. Did get a letter today from the HOA on the stain on my fence, so I guess their focuses are elsewhere right now. But anyway, as far as Elmers go, I have my dad. He's 85 now. He was a Morse code operator in the Korean War in the Korean Peninsula, and so I guess he was kind of a lot of the reason I was interested in ham radio. And then I think I've just got you, Ray, and Rusty to thank for being there when I was trying to. I got on the repeaters app on Android and just started looking for local repeaters and happened to hit the Oak. And you guys answered. One of you answered first, and then the next person I talked to was the other one. And so you guys kind of got me interested in the club part of it, which I really didn't even know anything about repeaters or clubs or the fact that people kind of talked locally. I was always thinking about DX, so that was a real blessing. Anyway, that's about it. Back to you, Ray.
Yeah, Roger, man. Sounds like we had a lot in common there with our dads being radio operators, and that's great. And yeah, we're glad to have you. And let's see if anyone's got anything for you there. Steve's with us, guys. KI5UKF. If you'd like to jump in and say hi to him before we let him go, come on in. All right, nothing heard. Well, Steve, thanks for joining in with us, man, and we'll catch you later on. Thanks for being solid net control, and we really appreciate you doing that. You do a great job, as always. Let's see. Next on my list is Dwight. November 5 Whiskey, Romeo Whiskey out there in Buda. Dwight, how's your week treating you, man?
Pretty good. Been working on my code and working a little HF and checking the nets on VHF. I had some correspondence with, I think it's the right VEC, W5YI, and I used to have VE credentials, and I need to find who the contact examiner is. The contact examiner for probably Austin Radio Club or any of them.
Well, we got the president of the Austin Club was with us earlier. Are you still with us there, Ernesto? KI5PZN, K5BZI in the net. You with us, Ernesto, still? Maybe Rusty can answer that question. WZ5BBS, you here?
I am, but I was across the house. What's the question?
Yeah, I was trying to find out who the contact examiner is for VE sessions for the Austin Amateur Radio Club.
I don't think I'm 90% sure that the Austin Club does not do VE sessions. Jim, K5, KTF, I believe, Kermit the Frog. Jim is the guy that does them, and the Austin Club promotes Jim's sessions, and they're up at Rocky Branch, Rocky Creek, Rocky something, and Ernesto and Philip and I did that before we started the one at the club. So I'm not 100%, but I don't believe that the Austin Club does VE sessions.
Who is the one for N50AK club? Do you know?
Absolutely, that is Philip, AC5G. If you go get on the website, N50AK, and click on the Get License tab, that will give you a link directly to his email address, and you can chat with him. Are you a VE? Are you trying to become a VE?
Yeah, I was a VE about 1,000 years ago, and I was just trying to... What VEC do they use?
We use W5YI is who we use for the club, so you will have to be accredited with them, and we can get you all that information. Are you in the Discord?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, that's who I have the paperwork from. I was a W5YI and an ARRL VE, 20 years ago or more, and they told me which paperwork to print out and what I needed to send to them.
Yeah, well, Philip can take care of all of that for you. If you have been one, then you should be good. You just have to be active. In order to maintain your active status, you have to do, I think, one every 2 years or 5 years or something like that. They're not real strict about it. But yeah, we'd love to have you. We've got about 15 people on the VE team. We do them quarterly after the club meetings at the library, so it's not a whole lot of time invested. We also do, it's all electronic. We do everything on the iPad, so really you just have to put in your password and everything is electronic, and it does all the stuff and makes us look super intelligent and do all the things that we need. So we would love to have you. Ping me on Discord. You can DM me. So yeah, get in touch with me, or you can go to the website, n50ak.org, and you can email Philip directly, and we can get you into the process and get you active. And once you are an actual W5YI VE again, then you can come hang out and grade tests and do all the fun stuff, man.
Okay, cool. Thanks for the information. That's really helpful.
You bet. Thanks for signing up. VE's, it's been a whole lot of fun. So yeah, come hang out with us. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, it's kind of a busman's holiday for me. I taught for an awful long time, so it's kind of like that.
All right. Good stuff. Anybody else have anything for Dwight tonight? N5WRW's with us.
Fun time. So yeah, I didn't realize how much fun it was going to be, but I'm kind of hooked. So yeah, join us on the Discord and ping me, or go to the website and ping Philip. Either way, and we'll get you situated. WZ5BVS back to net control.
You done, Rusty?
W back to net.
All right. All right. Anybody else got anything for WRW tonight? Dwight's with us.
FIPZN.
Go ahead, Ernesto.
Sorry, I missed your call earlier. I was literally just taking a shower once a month. I do that. Dwight, what Rusty told you is correct on the Austin Club. We are not doing the actual VE sessions, but Jim is doing those sessions, and we help him out, and that's through the ARRL. You'll have to be a VE with the ARRL, and I'll send you an email with the link to that one as well. That's it. Back to net, FIPZN.
Thanks a lot, Ernesto, N5WRW.
Well, it's good to know you're more than once a month, Ernesto. That means I can water my grass more than once a week. You saving the water for me. Appreciate that. All right. Moving down the list. Well, see, next on my list was Ron, and we checked in with him via Echo out there in New Mexico. So after that, we've got, looks like Kilo India 5 Yankee Hotel Yankee. When you checked in, your audio was a little low, so see if you can speak up a little bit for us there. Go ahead. KI5 Yankee Hotel Yankee. You still with us? Nothing heard. Maybe you lost battery power, so we'll check back in with him a little bit later on. So that brings me down to Sky, November 5 Lima X-Ray. What's going on, neighbor?
Hey, Ray. This is N5LX. That was a good question that you came up with about your Elmer. My Elmer was my dad. He was an electrical engineer, and even though he worked in sales and eventually got into management, he was a math whiz, and he could figure out just about anything. He designed things. He could troubleshoot and fix anything. And I guess I'm trying to remember maybe the first thing that he did to introduce me to electronics. I was probably about 6 years old, and he showed me how to put together a crystal radio. That was a big thing. I don't know if people still do that. But it had a germanium diode and an old surplus variable capacitor on a piece of wood, and a pair of old R14 Army surplus headphones. I'll bet you have a pair of those. I'm going to reset. Anyway, he went through the trouble to run an enamel wire way from the house all the way back to the garage where we used to live. It was, I don't know, it was like 60 feet or something, and he hooked the ground wire up to the faucet, and it was just really fascinating for a little kid. I used to stay up late at night, at least late for a little kid, and listen to music on WLS, which was one of those 50,000 watt stations out of Chicago. But anyway, that was my introduction. And then when I got a little bit older, he got me kind of a basic toolbox with tools in it to kind of encourage me to fix things and build things. And of course I would hold the flashlight for him when he worked on cars. But eventually he got me, into a little electronics experimenter's kit and stuff like that, and brought home like surplus parts from work. At some point my mom's brother, who was an inventor, had a bunch of patents. He was my Elmer for maybe a couple of summers, and I learned about op amps and a bunch of stuff from him. And in high school in Dallas, I do another reset. When I went to high school in Dallas, I was on the same bus. I took the same bus to school as this guy who later ended up going to MIT and working for Apple Computer and then Samsung. He's a super smart guy. But anyway, he and his dad and my dad worked at the same Texas Instruments site, and he was a ham, and so he took me to the Radio Shack there and showed me, fired up the Collins rig and made a couple of contacts just to kind of whet my appetite. And so that inspired me, and I got my general class license in 1975. And after that, my dad was like, well, I can't be shown up by my kid, right? So he studied for like 2 weeks and got his license, general class. And then he ended up, I didn't have any money, right? I was still a kid, I'd reset. So he ended up, I think he got an IC-22, one of the real early 2-meter rigs for his car, and then a FT-301 for his ham shack, and of course he let me use it. And I put an HF antenna up for him, and we had tons of fun with that stuff. And so it was I don't know, it was a really awesome experience having a dad who was an engineer and who was always doing stuff like that. And so I have really good memories about that. This is N5LX, back to you.
Man, you had it. You were set, dude. That's awesome. What a great story. Thanks for sharing. Contacts with Apple Computer and MIT grads, and it sounds like your dad was half a guy. So thanks for sharing. That's a good story. Guys, we got N5LX here. By the way, my dad, he, as I mentioned, he he drove around in an armored vehicle intercepting enemy transmissions that were coded in CW, and he never wrote it down. He learned how to receive using a typewriter. So whenever we got our licenses, we would go into the shack, and I'd tune in the slowest person I could copy, and then he'd tune in the fastest person he could copy, and he'd just sit there with a typewriter and just type it out. It was crazy. But anyway, check in and see if anyone's got anything for you there, Sky. N5LX is here with a great story about his Elmer. If you'd like to jump in and say hi with Sky, come now with your name and call.
N5SMO.
Go ahead, Bill.
Hey, Sky, were you listening to WLS when Larry Lujak was the big DJ there?
Hey, Bill. Yes, I was. I wasn't very old at the time, but yeah, I remember Larry Lujak. I mean, WLS was huge, and of course he was like probably the most well-known radio personality, so definitely.
Yeah, I was pretty young too. Yeah, he was the original shock jock, I think. But anyway, just was curious. Yeah, we were probably there about the same time. Anyways, that's it. Back to you and the net N5SMO.
All right, guys. Anybody else got anything for Skylar tonight? N5LX is here. I wish I'd been around for the old X stations, those AM stations across the border down there in Mexico. That was before my time. Sounds like I missed out on some good stuff there. All right, let's see. David, last check-in, we checked in with him already. He was mumbling around. That was N5YAN. And so that represents the end of my first round of check-ins. So let's do a station ID, and we'll jump right on into a second round of check-ins. You are listening to the N5OAK Thursday Night Net. We are the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club, and we're here every Thursday night at 8 p.m. It is a controlled net, meaning the station should refrain from transmitting until designated check-in or comment times. And my name is Ray, call sign K5BZI. I am net control, and now is one of those check-in times. So if you'd like to check into the net tonight, we'd love to have you. You do not have to be a club member. We just hope that you are, in fact, a licensed amateur radio operator. And if you're within earshot of me and you can get into us, come now with your name and call sign, please.
This is KG5UZS.
Okay, we got WZ5BBF won that perfect double. So who was the other call in there?
This is KG5UZS.
Kilo Golf 5 Uniform Z Fox, correct?
KG5 Uniform Zebra Sierra.
I get that wrong every week, don't I? All right, we got you on the list there, James. Sorry about that. Anybody else want to check in tonight? Come with your name and call.
This is N5PZN.
This is KB5MPJ, Jason and Beta.
All right, we got Jason and Ernesto. Keep them coming, guys.
This is Kilo Golf 5, Kilo Victor Juliet.
Wow, stranger danger. We got Garrett with us again tonight. Good stuff. Keep them coming, guys.
This is Kilo Charlie 3, November Alpha Golf, Randy Anderson Mill, coming in on the flagship, 320.
We got Randy too. Anybody else? All right. Well, that was a pretty good run. Let's go check in with Rusty, WZ5BBS. Rusty, how was your trip, man?
Man, it was a blast. I didn't look at my laptop, my phone, or my iPad. The majority of the time I was there. Water was a little warm, but not going to complain. So, yeah, man, just hung out on the beach and had fun with family. So it's good to be back in Austin, even if it is 117. And, yeah, as far as Elmer goes, I would say that YouTube was definitely my Elmer. It taught me a lot. A lot of those guys that got on YouTube kind of showed me what was up. I did my technician, and I had my technician license for about 7-8 months, and then I started in on my general, trying to learn that, and I got proficient at the general, and got to where I was passing those pretty well, and I started looking at the extra, and kind of figured out I should probably do this just to get over with, because I was going to forget everything that I had learned. So I started to where I was passing my general, and I started all my extra, and so those books definitely helped me as well, and kind of explained things to me. The YouTube kind of showed me that if you want to do some of this stuff, you got to call somebody on the phone and get them to do it. So that's kind of when I realized that ham radio had a bunch of stuff, but maybe not so many people doing things. And the club, man, like George and Bill, we've got so many great guys that will sit here and talk to you and tell you about anything and everything that you want to know. So, man, this club has definitely made me smarter in ham radio, and even though I'm an extra, I still think I'm an idiot. So I learn something new every day hanging out with y'all. So this club has definitely been very helpful in that.
Yes, sir. I completely agree with you. And I'm curious, what made you just take off once you got your tech? What made you just keep going? I don't know if it took me a while to finally get my general and so on.
Honestly, I think I just wanted to kind of be done with it. I kind of realized once I started poking around the general book, that this was one of those things that was, I could figure this out for the rest of my life. And so I have never been one for school, and I am even worse at taking tests, regardless if I am interested in it or not. So my whole thing was just kind of like, okay, the difference between technician and general was huge as far as privileges and where you could go and go play on HF. So that's why I wanted to get the general. I didn't really care about the extra, but I just wanted to be done, and I wanted to be able to go do whatever I wanted to go do and play wherever I wanted to go play, and I was just like, I can figure this out for the rest of my life, and that's why I ponied up for the 9700 and the 7300, because my thoughts were, I've got these two radios, and with these two radios, I will be able to do anything and everything that I want to do. I will be set for life. And, little did I know that wasn't the case. But, yeah, man, it was just kind of one of those things. I just wanted to be done with it and just go play ham radio and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, you're saying, I knew I'd be set with just two radios on. I'm sitting here counting all the radios on my desk here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it never ends. But, right on, man. Yeah, I kind of wish I'd gone ahead and taken care of the extra when I was in the mood and got my general, but yeah, it's going to take me a while to get there. I'm going to have to take a class, man. That step from general to extra seems to be daunting to me for some reason. But anyway, thanks for sharing, man, and definitely agree with you. Everything you said about the club. There's so much knowledge and so many folks that are so happy to help out at any given time. We're really blessed to have such a great and active group of guys. Well, guys, we got Rusty here at WZ5BBS. If you'd like to come say hi to the president, now's your chance. Come now with your name and call.
And 5SMO.
Bill?
Hey, Rusty, just one question for you. Grouper sandwich, conch fritters, or stone crab claws?
Honestly, there's a place called Krabby Bill's that we go, and I call it the fatty platter, but it's just like everything that you mentioned. I will do the grouper sandwich, that's good, but the crab claws, I don't know, man, that's a tough one. I also like scallops. Like when I go to Florida, I go for the scallops because they're about $half size, they're not like the little tiny ones. So yeah, I definitely get my fill. I've learned, because I usually go down for about 2 or 3 weeks, I do Mexican food and, you know, like all of my favorite stuff here because, you know, down there, well, you can't get good Mexican food unless you're in Texas. But, yeah, dude, all three of those, I definitely ate my fair share of them.
Boy, I could go for a grouper sandwich right now. That sounds good.
Batter is definitely the way to go for the win.
All right, anybody got anything for Rusty tonight? WZ5BBS is here. All right, nothing heard. Well, man, we really do have to coordinate, Rusty, next time you go down to Florida. Allie and I need to go visit her sister who lives in Tampa, and we can see if we can't get together for a grouper sandwich. All right, guys, next on my list is James, KG5UZ Sierra, Uniform Z Sierra. I'm going to lock that in my brain, man, and not mess it up anymore. How you been?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Thank you very much. KG5UZS here. Just heading out to pick up my YL sister and bring her back over the Oak Hill side, and then head out to do some work this evening. But just wanted to jump in real quick, say hello to the group here. I've actually, it's the first time on this net. I've been on a couple of the other nets, and going to be working on similar to what Rusty had just got done talking about. I'm actually still, after many, many years sitting as a technician, started off as a novice and earned my ticket there with the 5 words and went up to technician. And then, of course, as everything changed, and now I'm in September going to be taking the test of general, and if I pass that and get the opportunity to, I'll challenge the extra, see if I can hop all the way up. If not, I'll have to earn my ticket the hard way.
Yeah, Roger. Well, good luck on general, man, and don't forget that you get to take the extra for free if you pass. So definitely at least crack the book and take your shot at it. Yeah, you never know. You might get lucky. Well, I appreciate you jumping in there, and let's see if anyone's got anything for you on your drive there. KG5UZS is with us, guys. We've got James here if you'd like to jump in and say hi. Nothing heard, but James, say hi to your sister for us, man. You guys have a safe trip, and we'll catch you next time. Ernesto, KI5PZN, freshly cleaned. Ernesto, fresh and clean as a whistle. What's going on, man?
And well fed as well. This is KI5PZN. Ray, thanks so much for running the net. And hello to everybody listening and participating on the net tonight. Let's see, working like a crazy maniac on the last, few months, getting that nonprofit up and running. Tons of construction work, which leads to Tylenol consumption. So that's also part of my diet every day now. But almost finished. So we are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Let's see. Doing HF. I've been active on HF in the evening. Haven't been a lot on the radio during the day because been busy with work and that other project, but usually try to jump in every evening and hop in and serve the frequencies. And to your question, ham radio, how I started, I was always interested in ham radio since I was a very young guy, but the code kept me away from getting my license. Funny because now I do CW, but and then I was doing CVs through the 80s and 90s and all the way up until I moved here to Austin. And, language was a barrier, so I couldn't get on the radio either until I, learned how to speak the language. And one time I was fishing in Maynard. There's a nice pond over there.
And Lance, now KD3E, it used to be KI5HHK and then W5KEX and now KD3E. Lance, if you're listening, if you change your call sign again, I'm going to unfriend you because it's a lot of work to remember. He was fishing there. He brought in an HT. We used to talk all the time, and he brought an HT, and obviously my eyes lit up, and I asked him about that radio, and he was nice enough to explain to me all the things, and he told me that the code wasn't a requirement anymore. So that got me very, very fired up to get my license. And boy, oh boy, I drove him, I'm sure, insane. I used to ask him a million questions because, again, I did CV, and CV, you just go to, plug it in, turn it to the channel, and get to talk. None of the repeater shenanigans happened there. So I remember calling him all the time, every day, just driving him insane, asking all kinds of stupid questions. But that, and then after that, I guess YouTube, I kept on watching videos, and now on Discord with all the guys. So it's kind of like a little bit of everybody, but Lance is the one who got me into this. Back to you, Ray. This is KI5 PZN.
Wow, Lance changed his call again. That's crazy. Well, I'm glad to hear that you ran into him, man. That's Lance is a great guy, and I haven't talked to him in a while. Kind of miss him. But it's interesting that he was the one that really gave you the leap of faith there. That's cool. Good on him for letting you know that the code was no longer a requirement. Well, guys, we got Ernesto's here, my backup net control and news guy, KI5PZN. If you'd like to come jump in here and say hi to Ernesto, please do.
KI5 UKF.
Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Ernesto. Thanks for covering the news and the questions tonight. Sorry I was late to get to the Discord to help out. Anyway, I was just curious. Are you actually going to make Old Man's Breakfast Saturday morning? And I guess is there any outside scoop on whether we're going to have a Fox at all? I know this guy's taking the weekend off. Just curious if you knew anything in addition to that, maybe that you learned while you were cleaning up and all that. Over.
Yes, I will be there on Saturday for sure. And anybody listening, you're all invited. It's the Waterloo Ice House on Burnett Road, just south of 183. And hold on, so that was question number one. What was question number two? I'm old, Steve. Back to you.
Yeah, the other question was just whether or not you thought there was any chance for another Fox this weekend. Because again, I kind of put the Ice House Old Man's Breakfast in conjunction with the possibility of getting some help on a fox hunt, so I can actually find a fox for once. Anyway, over.
I'll tell you what, I have mine here, and I think I'm just going to juice it up tomorrow and put it out there, and you guys get to play. So I'm going to be working at the project over the weekend anyway, so I think I'll do that. I'll just post the map on Discord and annoy the heck out of you guys.
Sounds awesome, man. Thanks. Hope to maybe see you Saturday morning. I guess I'll go back to that.
Thanks for loaning me that Fox a couple weeks ago, Ernesto. I meant to let you know I left it on the porch, so I assume you found it. All right, let's see if anyone's got anything else for Ernesto tonight. KI5PZN is here. If you do, come now, your name and call. All right, nothing heard. Thanks for joining us, man. Thanks for volunteering a Fox tonight. You heard it here, folks. Looks like there's going to be an Ernesto Fox out this weekend, so keep your eyes open on the Fox Hunt channel and the Fox Maps for the map. And again, everyone's invited to the Old Man Breakfast every Saturday morning at the Waterloo Ice House up there off of 183. So be sure and go check those guys out if you're a morning person on Saturdays, which I am not. And neither is, I'm guessing, the next one on my list, which is KB5MPJ. There's Jason. What's going on, buddy?
KB5MPJ. Yeah, thanks for doing the net, Ray. Let's see. Yeah, as far as what I've done on radio recently. Been just doing a little bit of FT8 at night. I haven't had a lot of time to work HF or anything, but Monday night I couldn't sleep and got up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and worked all kinds of DX. Within about 30 minutes, I'd hit Indonesia and Australia, Europe, I think even South America on 20 and 17 meters. As far as Elmers, I never really had an Elmer that, you know, really just kind of showed me everything, or, you know, that I could call with every single question, but I did have an uncle who was an electrical engineer in a ham, and he lived in Arizona, so I couldn't always, you know, call him or go see him, but he did give me some electronics kits and kind of entry-level books on getting started with electronics. And so that kind of helped me, you know, learn some things. And then when I got my first HF rig, I got a butternut antenna, and there was a neighbor down the street that was a ham, and I went and knocked on his door and introduced myself, and he ended up coming down and helping me tune the antenna, which I had no earthly idea how to do. And, you know, that got me on the air, but, you know, he was a busy guy, so I really never saw him much after that. You know, he helped me out, so most of my Elmering was people kind of giving me a little bit of help and then turning me loose. But it was enough to, you know, get me where I am, finally where I am today with the hobby, and now we got YouTube and a great radio club here full of knowledgeable people, so now those are my Elmers. So back to net, KB5MPJ.
Good stuff on the Elmers there. You know, there's nothing wrong with getting a little nudge and letting them free. You know, that's kind of the way I've learned over the years as well. And yeah, good stuff there. So thanks for sharing. And I don't know if you noticed today, but I was working from the shack, and New Zealand, 11 meters, man, count 38. New Zealand, Jamaica, and Canada all coming in at the same time, on and off today. It was in and out, but it was pretty consistent. So I made contact with the Jamaican station and one of the Canadian stations, but never could quite catch that guy in New Zealand. Turns out I think he was working like a 6-element beam or something. So, but you can sure hear him. He was loud and clear. All right, guys, we got Jason here. KB5MPJ is with us. If you want to give him a shout, come down with your name and call.
KI5PZN.
Go ahead, Ernesto.
Jason, it's good to hear you on the net. I have a question for you. Do you have do you belong to the Caldwell Ham Radio Club, or do you have a way of communicating with them? Back to you.
Yeah, I'm in that club.
So I'm gonna ping you later. I'll send you a text or a direct message, because the guy from Races would like to get in touch with them to go and talk to them about Races. So I'll ping you later. Thank you so much. Back to net. It's KI5PZN.
Okay, yeah, just send me whatever you've got. They've got a meeting this weekend, so I'm going to try to make it. So assuming I do make it, I'll bring that information. Otherwise, I'll get it to him some other way.
All right, good traffic. Anybody else got anything for MPJ tonight?
We'll take it from there. Thanks again. Back to net.
Oh yeah, here we go. Good traffic. If anyone's got anything else for KB5MPJ Jason here, come now's your name and call.
KC3 NAG.
Go ahead, Randy.
Hey, Jason. I mean, maybe you don't want to actually say who you work for, but I will. Don't you kind of like work for Texas Parks group or something, like doing like internet and radio connections to like far off state parks and stuff? Like, I think that's pretty cool, man.
Hey Randy, yeah, that's what I do. I work on wireless data networks, so point to multi-point links and stuff like that, and Wi-Fi hotspots and anything that's wireless with with data networks.
So you travel around to the different parks and stuff. Well, I mean, I know you used to. I don't think you do so much, but you've done like on-site installations in the different state parks in Texas, eh?
Yeah, I've been to almost all the parks to do work, and I was at Abilene State Park yesterday, as a matter of fact, and today at the San Antonio Law Enforcement Office.
Well, you sound like the POTA Man of the year if you were like, if you had some time off from work.
Yeah, when I go, I usually don't get to do POTA though, so I have to do that on my off time. And I was going to tell you, Ray, I found a way to POTA spot yourself without an internet connection. I don't know if I've sent you that before, but there's a way to do it using JSA Call, which I thought was pretty cool. So, if you ever have no internet connection somewhere, you can use JSA Call to spot yourself.
Oh, that's cool. Now you have to show me that. And speaking of which, have you booked us a park yet for POTA?
No, I haven't, but I did think about that today, so I'll give that a look. Probably, if not tonight, then over the weekend, I'll try to round something up.
All right, man. Yeah, calendar's filling up, so be sure to let me know. But I told you, if I remember correctly, I think I told you when I was available in October, right?
Yeah, and those weekends should work for me too. So. Yeah, I'll see, and we can talk about which locations. Are you picky on location, or what, or how far we go?
Not at all, man. The Chevy's running just fine, so anywhere you want to go is fine with me.
Okay, yeah, I'll try to find something, like within a couple of hours drive or so. We ought to be able to find something good.
Right on, man. Looking forward to it. All right, guys. Before we let him go, one last call. KB5MPJ's here if you'd like to come say hi.
W5DGB.
Go ahead, sir.
Roger, trying to get the amp on over there. This is W5DGB.
Did you want to say hi to Jason, or are you checking into the net tonight?
I had the radio scanning and heard you guys in here, so I figured I'd just try to check in.
Roger that, man. Well, we're in the middle of our Thursday night net. This is the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday night net, and I needed to do an ID anyway. We're in 50AK, and I got a couple people ahead of you. If you can stick around there, Douglas, we'll check in with you here shortly. I've got you on the log. Let's see. Next on my list is Garrett. KG5KVJ, Garrett, man, how's the family?
Hey, Ray, thanks for running the net tonight. Always appreciate hearing you all in the air. The family's doing fantastic. Matilda's, kind of walking around a little bit. Not on her own, but she kind of holds stuff, and she'll take a step every now and then. I was riding the mini bike that I loaned you, and a couple of sheets to the wind on some adult beverages, and I fell off of it and broke my arm, so that's been pretty fun for the last couple of weeks. I also think it's phenomenal that you're making contacts, long distance with, only about 10 watt single sideband, so that's really some amazing conditions we've got right now. Let's see, what else? For the Elmer stuff, I would argue, so actual ham radio, actual stuff, that stuff, this club was my first involvement in actual ham radio stuff, so I would argue that Ray, you, not Ton of Brown Nose, are probably the most influential Elmer I've ever had in my life. The gift of that antenna I've got in my backyard has been absolutely game-changing and just opened up a whole world to me. Other than that, though, Appreciate you running the net, and I'll turn it back to you.
Well, yeah, man, I'm glad that you are able to make good use of it, and I've definitely been gifted some things that made huge difference in my getup. So what goes around comes around, and that's kind of the spirit of it. And I'm glad to hear that you're doing well, and glad to hear Matilda's walking around. That sounds dangerous, but when conditions are right on 11, you can do all kinds of stuff. When conditions are right on any band, you can do all kinds of stuff. That's what those QRP folks will tell you anyway. All right. Hey, Garrett here. It's been a while since we heard from him. He's been a family man with the new, as you just heard Tyler just now running around the house. So come say hi while you can. KG5KVJ's here. Gary, you think you might make it to Winterfield Day?
I don't know. Are you gonna bank on something that I'm bringing with me, or just on a general question, so just to see my face and hang out?
Just to see the old mug, man. We'd like to see you out there. And that generator's pretty cool too.
I try to make an effort. I was a little overwhelmed this year. I mean, Matilda was kind of recently born, so it was definitely interesting. And Summerfield Day, I don't totally regret missing that because we went to East Texas and hung out with my brother-in-law and his ham radio club there. So I still got to do Summerfield Day, but Winterfield Day, I'm going to try and make an effort for it. See if the wife is interested. If not, then I'll just hook it myself. I'll put some effort into it. So anyway, back to you, KG5KVJ.
Oh, you totally get a pass, man. Totally get a pass on last year. Winterfield Day, yeah, Matilda was just born, man. I don't blame you at all. And I wouldn't blame you this year if you weren't able to make it, especially with her moving around. Sounds like she is too. So good luck, man, and hopefully we'll see you, and it's good to hear from you. Take care. Let's see, next on my list is Randy, KC3NAG, coming in on the flagship 320. What's going on, Randy?
Oh, hey, Ray. Well, it's pretty hot outside when a little snake comes into the garage to kind of cool off. I was trying to get him with my, like my old man gripper things off the floor, gripper things, which work really cool, but I can't find the snake. He just wandered in here.
Did you grill him up, or what happened?
No, I mean, he just appeared like a minute ago, and he's hiding back underneath all my junk someplace. I think he just wanted to come in and get cool. I kind of feel sorry for him. He's not very big and doesn't look poisonous.
Maybe he was looking for some third-party traffic. Well, be careful over there, buddy. Oh yeah, Rusty just posted a gif of Garrett crashing his mini bike. Well, man, take care of that of your friend there, and if he has any third-party traffic, feel free to relay.
Yeah, well, I got my 22 caliber little revolver in my pocket with a snake shot into it, so that might end up being the third party.
Don't tear up any of your stuff in the garage there, buddy.
Yeah, or ricochets, yeah. 100 little pellets, no. Elmers, no. I didn't have an Elmer. I was interested in getting a license in like 1975 when I was like early 20s, and Radio Shack had cool little study guidebook to teach you electronics and all the rest of the crap you need. But you had to do code, and life changes. So, I don't know, I finally got back into it here, like, it's been 4 years now. And, once I found, I knew there wasn't any code, but, you could buy a ball fang for like $25. And, yeah, I mean, YouTube's pretty much been my friend, but let me drop for a sec. But But I would like to give a shout out to Bill, K5LN, Lima, November. He's a great Morse code guy. He has a study program, but he teaches you to learn words and not the alphabet. So, it's pretty intense, but he's like, hey, if you want to do it, this is how you do it. So, he's really cool. But, he gave me like about 6 or 7 old antenna books. Cause I'm a mechanical guy, so building antennas is like easy peasy. Keep me away from electronics. And, that was really cool. So, a little shout out to Bill, K5LN.
I've heard that that's the way to do it, and I'm afraid that I'm so far gone, with letters, that I don't know, man. Maybe I can reboot and learn it that way. I really need to I need to bone up on my CW, man. It's been too long.
Yeah, well, I don't know any of it, but that's another story.
All right. Well, guys, Randy's here. KC3NAG is with us. If you'd like to jump in and say hi, come now with your name and call. All right, nothing heard. Well, thanks for checking in, Randy. Let us know on Tuesdays, man, when you can jump in, get a little antenna a little higher in the air so we can hear you. And let's go check in with Douglas, see if he's still with us. W5DGB, you still with us there, Douglas? What's going on with you this week?
Yeah, this is W5DGB. How you copy me? I don't know. I'm a pretty long haul into the repeater, over.
You are full quieting, my friend. Sounding good.
Yeah, okay, fine business. I used to check in here a lot. I haven't been lately. Anyway, I lived in Austin from 79 to 84 when I graduated from UT, and used to live over there right near Bannockburn Baptist Church. Used to go over to the Big Wheel and eat a chicken fried steak every now and then. Anyway, good to hear y'all in here, keeping up the Dripping Springs or Oak Hill or whatever the heck it is tradition. I'm over here in Canyon Lake running about 75 watts into a Diamond X510. But anyway, just want to check in here and say 73s to everybody. And y'all have a good one. W5DGB.
All right, man. Yeah, sounded good. And thanks for checking in. I don't know. Your call sounds kind of familiar. Have you ever checked in with us on Tuesday nights for our 2-meter simplex night?
I probably have in the past. I've been busy doing a bunch of other crap. I've got a 2-meter 440 quad antenna sitting in my living room right now that I built this afternoon. Out after FedEx finally showed up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was 105 degrees out there. And once I got the thing about halfway built, I said, hey, this is stupid. I think I'll bring it into the living room where the AC is. So I'm hoping to get that thing up on the air here in the next few days. But anyway, yeah, I have checked in on the simplex. Now, what's the frequency on that thing?
Tuesday at 8 p.m. We called it Southside Simplex, so 555. They look like S's. 146.555 every Tuesday at 8.
I've checked in with you guys a few times, and I get this. I'm intending on setting this quad up to be vertical, so I'm probably going to try to check in with you guys here. I guarantee by Tuesday I have the thing working, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, 73s, just wanted to get in here, tail in Charlie, say 73s to everybody up there in South Austin, and y'all have a good one, and don't get in no trouble. W5DGB.
Hey, man, thanks a lot for checking in, and we'll keep our ears open for you on Tuesday night at 8. I hope you can join us. And that goes for everybody, guys. You heard it here every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. 146.555 Southside Simplex on 2-meter FM. And by the way, we've got plenty of guys that check in from the north side of town too. So if you can make it in, we'd love to hear you. And there's lots of relaying going on, so don't be shy. Come join us on Tuesday nights. All right, let me remind you, you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. N50AK is our call. My name is Ray. I am net control tonight. My call sign is K5BZI. I am located down here in South Austin. We are done with check-ins, so let me throw it out there one more time, see if any latecomers would like to join us. If you'd like to come join our net, tonight's topic is tell us about your Elmer. If you were lucky enough to have had an Elmer that got you into the hobby or have had one since, or you were honored to be one yourself, tell us a little quick story if you've got one. So if you'd like to come join us tonight, come with your name and call sign now, please.
This is KB5MPJ with a comment for Douglas.
Sorry, Jason, go ahead, man.
Hey, Douglas, if you're still out there, just want to say this is KB5MPJ, Jason and Buda. I've talked to you a couple of times on the 147050 repeater and Kyle, and you're sounding really good into this repeater. So just wanted to say good to hear you out there, and hope to talk to you again on one of these repeaters. Maybe we'll talk to you on Simplex on Tuesday night. KB5MPJ.
Yeah, sounds like he said 73 and checked out there, Jason. Are you still with us there, W5DGB? Open for check-ins for tonight's Thursday Night Net. If you'd like to check in, call sign now, please. All right, nothing heard. Anybody else got anything for the net tonight before we shut her down tonight? Come now with your call. All right, nothing heard. Well, I'm going to jump right over here on our website at n50ak.org/calendar and just give you a quick rundown. You can go check out the full calendar, like I say, at n50ak.org/calendar. Starting off on Sundays, be sure to check out the Weekend Wind Down Net. That's with Ernesto and Maria at 7:30 p.m. on the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club repeater system, as well as the KA5D system is connected for that. Monday nights, we do our 6-meter Mondays on 6 meters starting at 8 p.m. 50.125 sideband is where we start, and then it'll go wherever we can go. And we kind of chit-chat on Discord, kind of, if in case we're not, if we're having trouble hearing each other over there on 6 meters. There is also on Monday nights is the weekly YO net at 8 p.m. Starting this summer, a few weeks back, we are connecting to I should have had this brought up. It's a WCARC Amateur Radio Club. No, I'm sorry, that's the Newham net, which is at 8 p.m. as well. But the weekly YO net is it's a group up there in Cleburne, Texas, and they are the Johnson County Amateur Radio Club, I think it is, JCARN. Anyway, it's a YO net, and it's hosted by women and encouraged for women to join the net for the first portion, the first half of it, and then they allow men to check in. We are allowed to check in afterwards. So bring your YO in, and in the shack on Monday nights, tune in to the Oak and get her involved. Let's see, I mentioned Tuesday nights, Southside Simplex, 8 p.m. There is a D-Star net as well at 8. And let's see, Wednesday nights is the UT Amateur Radio Club Wednesday Night Net. That's at 8 p.m. Come check out the UT guys with their net. Support the Amateur Radio Club over there at the big school. Of course, we've got this net on Thursdays at 8 every week at 8. But just before this one is our CW net, 7:30 p.m. over on the technician portion of the 80-meter band at 3510, give or take, for CW. Go check out Pat, W5WTH, and the gang. right before this net at 7:30 for the CW net. Starting the last weekend, I believe it is, of this month, check out Taco Net, the traveling Taco Net with Ernesto KI5PZN. He's going to start off over at Rusty's place at the last weekend of this month, and that'll be pretty cool. Reach out to Ernesto on Slack, or on Discord, I should say, to invite him over to your place for his traveling Taco Net, where he'll bring tacos and host the net from your place. I'm looking forward to it, Ernesto, so you know. And then the K5LBJ Club, the group over there at the high school, has a net on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Be sure and support the group there. That net can be heard on this and the KA5D system. So support the LASA High School guys, K5LBJ News and Information Net every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. right after the AARC Old Man Breakfast. So you get a little food in you at 8 a.m. and then hit the car in time to maybe do a little fox hunting while you check in with the LASA High School group over there at 10 a.m. on this frequency. And for those and other net opportunities and events, like I said, you can check out our calendar at n5oak.org/calendar. And many, many, many thanks to Rusty for all the work he does keeping that calendar and others with the new contest calendar, etc., going on our website. We really appreciate it. All right, that's all I got for this evening, guys. We had 23 check-ins, myself included. Y'all stay cool. Have a great weekend. Play some HF during the North American QSO party this weekend on Saturday, 1 p.m. to midnight. It ought to be good. Check it out, 1 to 1 a.m. actually. Yeah, have a safe weekend and give everyone a hug for me, and we'll catch you next time. With nothing else to do, I now return this repeater to regular amateur use. This is K5BZI with the N5OAK Thursday Night Net, signing off.